the market's not reacting to what happened yesterday all at once during the 4 and 5 o'clock hour. Is it a delayed reaction? Does it not care? Should it care? Are we going to see some impact at some point?
I would think at some point, yeah, we'll see some impact. But I think right now, I think the market's doing the exact right reaction to what's going on. We're going to have to see how this all plays out. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. I know this is a little bit different because this is a little closer to President Trump right now. But I think when you look at what's happening right now, I'm still focused on the facts. And the facts are the earnings season has been absolutely unbelievable, right? I mean, across the board, we've had almost nothing but great results, great growth. The economy right now is humming along. Could this absolutely derail it in some way, shape, or form? Absolutely it could. But it's not necessarily today. So I think that's why the markets are reacting the way they are. They're just kind of a blah day, and now it's moving on to the next.
Aaron, a lot of people argue, look, even if the president gets in trouble because of this, you're not going to undo the tax cut. You're not going to replace regulation. The rollback of regulation will likely continue for a variety of reasons. What do you think about the rally? Is the rally solid here, even in the wake of all the political drama that we saw yesterday and the legal drama?
I think you're exactly right, which is that in order for this to materially impact markets, we either have to think that Trump is going to be impeached and removed from office, or we think that it's going to change his legislative agenda. What I'd say is that regarding the first, while we may see now the Republicans lose some support with respect to the House, it's unlikely that we're going to see a blue sweep in the Senate as well. So with the Republicans staying at the helm of the Senate, it's unlikely that he would be removed from office. If you go and roll back to 1996, when President Clinton was impeached but not removed from office, from the time that the initial news broke to the time that he was acquitted, the stock market was up about 25%.
The economy was rip-roaring.
Absolutely. Yep. So it comes back.
I think he was.
Well, no, he was impeached.
He was impeached.
He was impeached,
and then he was never acquitted.
And then the Senate actually acquitted him.
Okay.
So in December of 97.
That's correct.
February of 97.
The term is acquitted, actually.
67 votes, right?
Right.
And they didn't have 67 votes.
So then getting back to that as an example, it comes back to the fundamentals of the economy. And right now, as was stated, the economy is really strong. The other thing is, what's the market pricing in terms of the legislative agenda for this year and for next year? And right now, the market's not pricing in very much of anything. He's already done the tax reform, which was the big thing he was supposed to do in the first term. And so the likelihood of any type of infrastructure spending and a bill being done there, I think, is pretty minimal right now. The market's not expecting that to be done. So right now, we're really focused on continuing in this virtuous cycle of positive economic growth, potentially some more room for regulatory rollback. He doesn't need congressional approval for that either.
Got it. Dr. J, what are you doing here?
I'm glad. Michelle, I think that Christine Lagarde was absolutely right, as were Aaron and Pete, about the impact of those tax cuts, the regulation rollbacks and things like that. Christine Lagarde in Davos, one of those events that, of course, you cover for us, and we're going to miss that, sad to say.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you on my last day. Yes.
I think we're going to see continued growth out of the U.S. economy. We're seeing already the happiest consumers that we've seen. I mean, Pete's buddy, Brian Cornell, said this is the most optimistic consumer he has seen in his career in retail. That's a pretty big statement for a guy that runs a huge retail operation.
More on that later. We're going to spend a lot of time on Target, so don't chew it up yet. Edelweiss, can I call you that?
Sure, you call it whatever you like.
In the early days of the show, everybody had a nickname, and mine for you was Edelweiss. So if I can indulge me on this day,
I will. And unlike Pete, I'm not going to miss that. But it's okay. Look, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything come out of this administration, or specifically the presidential office, the Oval Office, that would surprise anybody. At this point, the behavior's been so outrageous, the statements, the tweets, that the market's desensitized to
inured.
Right. So I even believe that were impeachment proceedings to be broad, and were he to be impeached, maybe the market has a knee-jerk reaction down, but I think ultimately it would go up because the pillars are there. The economy's still strong. Basically, you have gridlock in Congress that we've seen for the last 8 years. You have it now. He's done a lot by executive order. And like a lot of presidents, although it took him a lot longer to get things done, in terms of not in the first 100 days, but it's done. So the seeds are planted. So look, it's sort of like, like a carnival sideshow at this point. What happens there? If something comes out that's particularly damaging, as I said, knee-jerk reaction. I think, Pence comes in, not particularly a fan from his social views, but maybe that actually unlocks the gridlock.